Today we will talk about women, femdom, and psychology, and especially about my favorite concept. I'm a big fan of Carl Jung's theory about the persona and the shadow. I just love it. I find it so helpful. This is like, it's been the most helpful tool, like a therapy tool for me, for my self therapy, and also when I work with other people. And I want to remind you that when I do my work with subs, I don't just play, I do some kind of mentorship or a therapy play, and I use kink as a tool. So, the persona is like the image we want others to see. And this is something we also see it about ourselves, how we want to be presented in the world, how we want to be perceived. These are like the good qualities, what's accepted. For example, like it can be a man who, well, who's concentrated on his career and his family, and he spends weekends with his grandchildren, and he's such a good person, and he does charity. So, and he is seen as like a perfect human being. uh, but the shadow is the part, it's a huge part of us, but sometimes we don't even recognize it. It's a huge part that we suppress. This is like a dark place where we keep our inappropriate, very dark desires and fears that are often like reversed desires. We put there our thoughts, our dreams, something that can scare us, something that we don't want to see in ourselves, something that we know that other people are not going to accept. So this man can be into sending money to random women online. So this could be his shadow, but also he wants to be feminized and humiliated. So this could be the shadow. Uh, if you want like a more exaggerated example, maybe you've read the book about Jekyll and Hyde when he was like a good human at daytime and a predator at nighttime. And even if you might think that, okay, what's so good about this? Yeah, like, why do we need to know about it? Let's just cut this side. This is not how it works, unfortunately. Imagine that it's like a spiral spring and you push it down, you suppress it, but it's quite strong. And once you show a little bit of weakness, once you forget about it, once you lose control, it's gonna push you back. It's gonna be so strong, it's gonna be unexpected, something that you don't want to happen because you want to control everything, right? That's one reason, because the more you suppress, the more power you give to your dark side. Another reason, which is more important even than the first one, is that the dark side, the shadow, has a lot of power. A lot of power. What you suppress should be integrated, should be accommodated, maybe transformed in some way, but it has to be used. If you do not integrate your shadow, it will still affect you. It's like also this phrase which I love, that until you make the subconscious conscious, like all these things will happen to you and you will call it fate. So if you want to own yourself and what you are and use what you already have, all these mechanisms that are like innate, should pay close attention to your shadow. And there is an exercise how exactly to do this. So first, yeah, you imagine someone of your age and describe a perfect person. Yes, someone who is liked by everyone, someone who does good. So you describe this type of person. Yeah, and this would be your persona. And after that, you imagine someone who is of your age, of your gender, or who lives like in a pretty similar conditions. I mean, the country, the environment, but someone who disgusts you, someone who you would look at them and you would hate them immediately. Like, what kind of, you may describe appearance as well, but also what kind of qualities they have, like how they behave. You should describe it in details and you will find out quite interesting things. So, like, basically, yeah, you're describing what you suppress. But there are even deeper things than you can describe. Sometimes, maybe like this task, this exercise is not enough. And today, I want to talk about women and how Femdom and Findom can heal women. Of course, we can say that everyone's shadow is different, but it's not that different. And there would be some tendencies, and they would also refer to our biological and social differences, how we act. So there would be gender differences because men and women would be suppressing different things. Sometimes they would overlap, of course, but I can see this clear tendency that women suppress the same things. And I will talk about two major things that women suppress. The society has been shaming women for these two things. Here they are. The first one is sex. If you want sex, if you are an openly sexual being, you are a whore. And I already talked about this issue in my video about female sexuality. You should definitely watch that. So it's either women are supposed to suppress their sexuality at all because they have to reproduce, they have to bring children to this world, and they're like this modest good women, and because men love good women, and like being a hoe is bad, okay? And the other side is when our women's sexuality gets exploited. So women often don't know themselves sexually. And this is what we often suppress. Like, oh no, I shouldn't have sex if I'm not in a relationship. Or if I've slept with like this amount of partners, over 10 partners, then it means that I'm a whore. Suppressing your sexuality is dangerous for your health, not only for mental health, but also for physical health, organs and their functioning. So that's one thing that is suppressed. Another thing is money. Women want men with money. Women want men who provide. Women like generous men. This is such a huge thing that women are supposed to hide nowadays because you're gonna be called a gold digger or sugar baby, you're entitled. And I understand that there are women who only want money from men. However, this is natural for a woman to seek for a partner who can provide. This is natural for a woman to go for a man who gives her resources. I mean, I'm not even speaking about men in general, that if you are with a man who is not at a good financial place, like his self-esteem is going to suffer and he will expose it, he will put it on you, because whatever society tells you nowadays, yeah, that's the world of equality, now you don't have to provide, etc., you still perceive yourself through the lens of your financial success. And if a man does not have it, he will feel that he's somehow inferior to other men. I mean, we still live in men's world, and this is like, that's not my rules. This is what I see everywhere. And this is what I see from men who are broke. They will try to dominate women. And after that, they will tell them that, oh, so you want just money? I hear it all the time. And men shame women, like calling them gold diggers. Sometimes even like when they expect a man to pay for a plate of food when he invites her on a date. And these men nowadays, like European men, and I can see that Russian men, they also adapt the same type of mentality. They still expect women to clean, to cook, to look beautiful, like to be feminine, but they would shame them for expecting a man to pay for dinner. That's like a bad thing. That's like you're not supposed to want it. You're supposed to accept and love this man for who he is. But excuse me, sir, who are you without your actions? It's just women get shamed for things that are natural for them. Yes, it is natural for a woman to be sexual. And I already said that this sexual power should be explored. It does not mean that you will sleep around, even if you can, or you can find out this power and you can direct it to a different way. But again, I want to repeat that a woman who is sexually expressed, who's sexually open, is a very powerful woman. A woman who does not climax, a woman who does not have sexual pleasure is a weak woman. And I want to repeat that that's on you. If you're a woman and you're watching my video, your sexuality is on you, not on men, not on your partners. That's on you. If we take not lifestyle femdom, but just a play, just a little scene. If we put just a regular woman, a nice girl, into this scenario, she will take something from it. Maybe at first it would be uncomfortable, but lots of them have this suppressed side that is begging to come out. Begging, but they don't hear it. Because this is how most people live. They don't hear themselves. They don't know themselves. They don't hear their desires. They don't hear their dreams. When I worked as a yoga teacher, I always wanted to bring this um, like transformation aspect. I mean, not that you transform yourself, not in this sense, but when you do something in class, for example, you stay in some complicated position and you understand that there is nothing you can do. Like you stay like this. And somehow you should accept this discomfort. You should learn how to adapt to the situation and you take it to the outer world. And the same here, like a woman in the scene who can see that a man will worship her as a goddess. A man cries because he sees this beauty of this woman. She will take it to her real life. And don't think that it will affect her like in a way that she would be like this arrogant bitch. She would be like, ah, yeah, you're my slave. No, this is not really how it works. Just get the sense of power, the sense of self-worth, the sense like, yes, this is something that can happen. This is something that I can be. I can be strong, I can be powerful, I can be respected by men, I can be worshipped by men. Each woman should be worshipped by men. That's my opinion. Like, a woman has God's like power. Only a woman can bring a child to this world. Only a woman raises a whole human being inside her womb, and that's dark in the womb. The darkness precedes the light. Then the sexual side, yeah, like we're so afraid to be called a whore. I mean, I'm not sure, like Western women not afraid of this anymore. Yeah, they're quite proud of that, and I can see like both like good and bad sides about it. But okay, here in Femdom we can also walk our sexual side, because you are on a pedestal, but you're there as a sexual being. Like, you don't have sex with your subs, however, these are sexual acts. I just want women who try femdom to be concentrated on what they want. That's an issue. For example, when it's a couple and a man is like, oh, I'm submissive, but she doesn't want to dominate me. Yeah, because you are annoying, because you make everything about yourself. She doesn't want to submit to your fetishes. That's the thing. Like, you have to be a good submissive first. And a good submissive means that you pleasure her for her desires, for what she wants. Even if she wants to be dominated and bad, this is where you start. You change your mindset first. It didn't make any sound, okay, like this. You change your mindset first. So in the scene, like when a woman tries femdom, Try it for yourself. What do you want? You need to hear yourself. What do you want? And the money part, as I said, I believe that it's natural for a woman. This is like the most natural thing, to choose a sustainable man, a dependable man, the man you can rely on. And how can you measure the reliability of a man if not by how much resources not only he has, but also how much he is ready to give you? It doesn't really matter how much he has. If he is stingy, it does not matter. Like, gone. And in Femdom, that's like it is the opposite dynamics, because usually, like in your real life, if a man gives you money, you become dependent, and this is what lots of women don't want to experience. Like they want to stay independent. They don't want to feel obliged, because that's not a good feeling. You know, when when you know that you owe him something, this is not a good feeling. That's why so many women don't want to accept anything from men. But this desire still stays. So in Findom, that's a different dynamics. You receive the money and you also receive the power. You don't say, "Oh, thank you so much. You're such a great man. Thank you." No, you can keep it for your partner. Women want money. Women want money from men. But men disagree. And other women also join them and they say, "Oh no, you're a bad woman. You're not supposed to be a gold digger." It's about the dark and suppressed desires and things that we want to exclude. So if we just go for these desires, like without any mindfulness, it can bring destruction. This is also like something you should understand, that if you do this without realizing what you do, or especially like all the time this shadow thing appears, like when you take drugs, when you drink alcohol, yeah, we can see all this ridiculous behavior that then we feel ashamed for this. It's not how you want to do this. You want to do it like in the right way. And yes, here we can say that there is a right way, there is a healthy way, there is a productive way. Because when you integrate your shadow, it brings you a lot of power. Shadow has a lot of power. When you deny your shadow, you rob yourself. For example, if you are a woman and you deny your aggression because you're such a nice girl, when you deny your aggression, and aggression is a good thing. Aggression is about boundaries, about protection, not about rage nonstop. However, I don't see rage as something bad. If you know how to do this, rage can be beautiful. Aggression can be beautiful, because aggression has a lot of power. You just often don't know how to use it. Okay, that's it for now. I hope it was interesting, and I want you to share in the comments down below your experience with the shadow. If you feel comfortable, I would be curious to read your stories and what kind of qualities, what kind of person you are as a shadow. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.